think you've heard directly from both the FBI and the State Department that the notion or the accounts that have been put out there are just not true.
We looked into this, the FBI looked into this, and it's just not true. There was no quid pro quo even suggested or any kind of bargain laid on the table.
They were wheeling and dealing and trading of information and trying to make deals on the side in order to manipulate what Congress and the public should have been able to see. That is the core of intent, and it's in the FBI documents in their own words. I didn't come up with this. Quid pro quo is a word that was used by an FBI agent, not me.
Well, the President's State Department pushing back hard about these FBI documents that, as we've been talking about, deal with an email, a classification issue, and Undersecretary of State Patrick Kennedy. Just some breaking news about Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder. Ecuador has just acknowledged that it has temporarily restricted WikiLeaks founder Assange's communications access following the Clinton leaks. There was a story that Secretary of State John Kerry had asked for that to happen. Apparently Kerry is denying that. However, either way, Ecuador has essentially cut off Assange's internet. We'll see if the WikiLeaks leaks continue. One would think they have backups. We're back with the panel. Let's start at the FBI documents. Big pushback, Steve, to this. Your thoughts that one of the agents came out who was actually involved in this back and forth with Kennedy and said that they had a conversation and that he was, you know, there was talk of what each could do for the other person.
Yeah, right. I mean, he basically confirmed what was in the FBI 302s that were reported on over the weekend and then released yesterday. What he said was he didn't realize exactly what the favor was that Patrick Kennedy was going to be asking for, and that it was a Benghazi-related email, and they wanted to change the classification. But there's no question that they had this discussion. So what John Kirby said was patently false, categorically false. And what the president said when he said that these notions and accounts, without specifying which notions and accounts, have been discredited, is word salad. I mean, this is nonsense. This is what happened. It's in the FBI documents for a reason. You think back to the time when they had these interviews with the FBI officials. These are people who go in front of their colleagues, sitting down and asking questions about what they had done in connection with this case. What they said then was accurate. What this official who spoke publicly today said confirms that what they said was accurate.
Heidi, this is why people hate Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, every aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, combined with WikiLeaks, all of it just reeks of backroom dealing. Of course, the details are very important. I don't want to, you know, indict anybody before they've had a chance to kind of like speak their side. The facts are that there was no actual swap. Whatever they discussed didn't happen. Didn't actually transpire. But to me, the untold part of this, and the reason why this email story is going to keep blazing, is because we don't know whether any of this was actually done on behalf of the campaign. Now, here's something to point out, Brett, is that hours after some of this wheeling and dealing was going on, the AP came out with a story saying that Hillary Clinton never sent classified information. So somebody's got to see if there was a connection there between what Kennedy was trying to do to lay the groundwork for this story and for Hillary Clinton to be able to say, I never sent or received classified information.
We should note that Patrick Kennedy has a long, long history with Secretary Clinton, goes back many, many years. Okay, Gina, big picture on this. Not only this, but WikiLeaks and how it influences this race.
Well, I think you couple this with, you know, for example, you know, all of the illumination that has come out in the last few days, even in the last week, from James O'Keefe's videotapes to the WikiLeaks and everything else, and you start to get a picture of just things happening behind the scenes without the people ever being aware of it. I think that plays well to Mr. Trump's campaign. But here's the thing: you have to also know how many of the American voters really care, because the thing I hear so often when we hear this is, well, if Mr. Trump is elected, he'll probably operate the same way. This is just politics in America. I think if people psychologically accept that, then they're going to be more likely to be able to accept that, hey, Clinton does this, this is the way politics is done, and may not see Mr. Trump as being...
And Steve, quickly, I mean, that brings us back to your poll about change. I mean, if that is true, I mean, the Trump campaign's in trouble.
It was a pretty striking finding. I mean, Donald Trump very successfully made his case throughout the Republican primaries that he was the candidate of change. Every single night we sat on the set and talked about the exit poll results. That's the thing that jumped out. And the fact that he's losing to her, who's this Washington insider and has been for 3 decades, is pretty striking.
But, Brett, if I may, on the change question, Obama was the candidate of hope and change. So that may be a mantra that's just sort of locked in the psyche of the Democrat voter and may not mean as much about Mr. Trump.
Heidi, Gina, Steve, thank you very much.